Hi everybody. Um, Welcome to another movie review. Well, another for those of you who are my regular viewers, which is like 5 people, maybe. Um, yes, Necronomicon. I'm talking about the Evil Dead. Evil Dead remake. Huge Evil Dead fan, so I'm actually gonna try to stay away from comparing it to the original. I say I'm going to try because I know it's going to slip in eventually, but I want to keep it on the merits of this movie for as long as I can. I apologize if I slur my words. I talk fast, and I'm sorry about the beard too. I need a new razor. Anyway, so first of all, movie review. Rest in peace, Roger Ebert, since he died today. That's since I'm doing a movie review. So, rest in peace, Roger Ebert. So, anyway, moving on. The Evil Dead remake. So here's the thing. Go see this movie. Don't, I mean, I want to say don't watch this review, but the fact is I really want the views. You should probably just know that it'll work for Evil Dead fans if you're already a fan of the franchise. If you're not, it's still a really good horror movie. So, go see the movie. That's my non-spoiler recommendation. Go. Go and see it. Come back and watch the video again. Share it with your friends. I need all the views I can get. Because I have none. Like, a few. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm wildly off topic. Wildly. Wildly off topic. So, yes, this is a very good film. Gonna be getting into spoilers now. Okay, so movie starts with a girl tied to a post with barbed wire. There's a lady with who's hanging dead cats from the ceiling because magic. Yeah, never seen dead cats before in Evil Dead. And girl wonders what's going on. Typical histrionics until you look around, see other deformed people. Yeah, this is one thing. Those people are never mentioned again. I mean, they're kind of the setup, but I don't see why they need to be there. Is basically what I'm saying. I mean, it's a good opening scene. I don't get it. I don't. They were there for the opening scene, and then we never see them again, which gets weird when you get late. Okay, once I go through this whole scene, it'll make sense. Uh, so then it turns out the girl's dad is there, and she's like, "Oh, daddy, why are you doing this?" And da 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 da. And dad goes, "Well, you killed your mom." Well, that's not how he says it, but it's how I like to say it. It's like, you killed your mother. Of course, the girl, she's possessed, she's a Deadite, or they never call them Deadites in this movie, or Kandarian demons. I guess the director decided he would be trying too hard to make a reference to the original, which is, understandable. Kind of want to make your own movie, even if it does have fan service to the original, which I wouldn't talk about. Anyway, so, they go through this scene. The witch tells the dad that he has to burn his daughter, and his daughter is doing, the Deadite. "Oh, daddy, why are you doing this to me?" And then, her eyes go yellow, and she goes, "You motherfucker! I'll kill you, you motherfucker!" With the deep voice. Yeah, yeah. The voice work on the Deadites is still completely ridiculous. You cannot escape the ridiculous Deadite voices. So, he burns the girl, blows her head off with a shotgun. Cut to the Evil Dead. You had your cold opening, and it was a great cold opening. With some odd things. Alright, so you cut to a guy driving through a forest with his dog. He arrives at this beaten down old cabin where, with his dog and his, Squeeze, whose name is, I she I don't think she had a name. Well, I mean, I guess, I mean, if she's just there to die and you're not going to develop her, why bother giving her a name? I Maybe they gave her a name. I wasn't paying attention. I mean, there's usually at least one character in horror films where you just call them that person that dies. It's like, well, what's their name? Well, I don't know their name, but they were that person who died, and they had this relationship to this other person. So, I guess her name is Girlfriend, and she will be referred to such as this review progresses. So the guy and his girlfriend, the guy's name is, Mark. It's Mark, Mike. It starts. No, it's Mark. Gotta be Mark, right? I'm pretty sure it's Mark. Yeah, I'm not great with names. Which is a shame, because Mark is actually pretty entertaining throughout this film. So Mark, who meets up with his, clearly ex-Olivia, and, his old friend, Eric, who are pissed at him for making them wait all morning, and then says that she's out back. She turns out to be, Mark's sister, Mia, who is, a recovering drug addict, and this is, her attempt to go cold turkey is, spending a weekend at a creepy cabin in the woods. It's a horror movie thing. What are you gonna do? So yeah, he gives her, is it, hemlock amulet, which looks like the, old silver mirror magnifying glass from the first one. Yeah, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the first one, but you have to, because while this is a movie that non-Evil Dead fans will enjoy, there is a lot of Evil Dead fan service in this film. So, you do get, famous, not famous scenes, but famous props and callbacks, various things. I'll bring them up when they come up. Right, so she basically calls him, liar, charming liar, da-da-da-da, you left me, blah, blah, blah. So, she goes through and she dumps her, cocaine into the well. I guess one of her friends was holding it. I certainly hope they weren't letting the recovering addict hold the cocaine while they waited for her to do that. So we go into the house. The house, of course, is totally beat up on the inside. Someone broke in, and, there's clear wear and tear on the house, although they do manage to make it livable after a bit. They complain about the smell. The smell's coming from the cellar, because, of course, so eventually, oh, right. The nurse friend who, Olivia and Eric tell, the brother that, Mia has gone cold turkey before and never gone through with it, and she OD'd again and was technically legally dead for several minutes, which I guess is actually kind of a call forward in the movie. Kinda, yeah. I'll explain later. So they go through that. Mia gives her some, sedatives. I don't know. It seems like they're injecting. No, Olivia gives Mia an injection. Seems like they're giving the drug addict a lot of injections, but, whatever. So, Mia complains about the smell. The rest of them can't smell it. The, dog starts digging at the carpet, and, Mark or Mike. I like this guy. Why can't I remember his name? M pulls the rug away and, finds the cellar door. They go down into the cellar and, the steps are rotted and bending under their weights. So they flick on the light switch and there's a single light bulb over the one door in the cellars. Like, yeah, we know. Uh, so they go in there and that's when they find the dead cats. You see like one or two of the dead cats in the cold open scene, and you figure that's all there was. It's like, no. Literally, this whole room has dead cats hanging from it. It's like, I'm not actually laughing at the dead cats. I'm laughing at my reaction to the dead cats, because when I saw it, I'm just like, why? Why? I find myself far funnier than I should. And of course, it is the same room from the cold open, so, the burn pillar is there. The body is gone, the hobo, the deformed people and the witch are gone, and never explained. What remained on the table is a double-barreled shotgun with a, box full of shells. Evil Dead fans, you know what I'm talking about. And, then there's a book. A book wrapped in, I think it's like plastic. It's like black garbage bag plastic and barbed wire. Okay, this is one of the times I have to bring up the original. This makes a bit more sense than the original. I mean, okay, first of all, let me go back and say that they have a better reason to stay at the cabin than in the original, although later. I know. They have a better reason to stay at the cabin. Right? I discussed it already. The cold turkey thing. So, this is another thing. So, clearly they didn't want this book opened. So, of course, Eric, the genius that he is, grabs the book and brings it upstairs, and he's like, Mia's saying, I think this bad feeling that I'm having is them having something to do with the voodoo that went down in, the basement. And, Eric's like, oh, this isn't voodoo, that has more to do with dolls and personal effects. Like, yeah, because that's going to make her feel better. I mean, sure, it's some hellish magic, but it's not voodoo. I mean, no offense to voodoo practitioners. I know there are actually a fair amount of voodoo practitioners in the world, and I'm not trying to insult anyone's religion. I'm just trying to insult this guy who, he's the idiot who summons the demons. So he does that, and the demons are initially what drive Mia to run away, and she eventually crashes into a lake in the forest. And she runs away from, basically, I think it's the demon. It's kind of wearing a Deadite version of her already, I guess, to freak her out, because demon. Their job is to freak people out. So then she falls into a thicket of trees, and I know a lot of people laugh at the tree rape scene in the original. Personally, I never saw what people found that funny. I mean, yeah, it's a tree, but it's still a fairly disturbing scene. And, the original tree scene was actually a bit more disturbing than this one, because this one starts out really hard to watch, but, like, the actual, raping of Mia, so to speak, is one of the really bad effects in this movie. It's starts out a good practical effect. It ends bad CGI effect. Well, not a bad CGI effect, but it's a CGI effect in what's for the most part, a practical effect and makeup movie, which just makes things look out of place. You mean, you can merge practical and CGI effects, but you're really better off sticking to one or the other. And horror movie filmmakers or prospective horror movie filmmakers, stop with the CGI effects. We're tired of them. They're not good. Just stick to practical. It'll take more work. but it makes everything look better. And that's important because visual medium. We watch films with our eyes. And, you know, it's just kind of one of those things because there's a lot of really good effects and disturbing imagery in this film, and that's one of the not good things. So, yeah, so basically, you know, she goes through the whole Deadite thing where, you know, she's basically, everyone thinks she's crazy, and, you know, she's scared of what... See, this is the interesting thing about Deadites. Throughout all the whole Evil Dead, including this reboot, the victim seems cognizant of the fact that they are actually being possessed, and, you know, to a degree. I mean, I don't think they actually know they're about to be possessed, but I think the demon goes out of its way to make them feel more fear than they normally would. It's just basically my fan theory, but, you know, it kind of seems to fit with what they do throughout all the movies. So, she goes through that, excuse me, she goes through that, and, turns to a Deadite, goes into the shower, and she turns up the shower, like, all the way, and for some reason, the lamp in the room catches fire. I don't know. I got no explanation for that one. But, this is where we get the first of our disturbing imagery. Get used to it, because it's going to be here. So, the first disturbing image is, of Mia's scalding burns. And, you know, this lead, I've never actually seen scald burns before, but in my imagination, this is what they look like. I think that they did the makeup for it very realistically. And, which is actually, yeah, it's... And that's one of the least disturbing images in this film. Yeah, think about that for a minute. Okay. So this leads to them driving through the forest, and they find out that the path is out because it's been raining this whole time, and this is the other bad effect in the film. The river that takes out the trail. It looks horrible. I mean, like, you know what I was saying about, you know, the CGI from the tree rape wasn't that good, but it's like, the CGI from the tree rape looks beautiful compared to this river. I mean, it's a river. How the hell do you screw that up? It can't be that hard. You're animating water. No matter why do you need to animate water? Just get a truck of water and pour it down the... I know, it's just me being neurotic. So they go back to the cabin, Mia is in her... They give Mia enough strength to knock out a horse, which of course does nothing since, you know, she's possessed by demons. So, Mia comes into the living room, and, she has the, shotgun with her. Wings her brother, like, you know, hits about, here, I think. You know, flesh wound. Comparatively, a flesh wound compared to what happens to other people in this film. So she does that, then, let's see, she does the Deadite trick where, you know, she falls over and pretends to be dead. That's when she jumps, Olivia and pukes blood all over her. Olivia knocks her into the, cellar, and Eric puts the lock on it. Let's see, Olivia goes into the bathroom to, get more, you know, of the drugs and get cleaned up from all the blood that's being puked over. That's another thing. The blood puke is... it's the original Evil Dead levels of blood puke. Only it looks a bit more realistic. of course, before she goes into the bathroom, we get a lovely image from the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. That's the other thing I should mention, Necronomicon Ex Mortis. That's the name of the book and the film. That's why I was... Yeah, I know Lovecraft doesn't have anything to do with Evil Dead, but, Necronomicon. Yeah, it wasn't a connection. So, we get a lovely image from Necronomicon of a woman with a knife in one hand and her peeled off face in the other hand. It's like, and you know what's coming. But you don't want to watch it. You don't. I didn't want to watch it. I'm a seasoned horror fan. I've seen all kinds of horrible, gory things, but I didn't want to see this. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but, still, Eric goes into, Olivia's room looking for Olivia, knocks down the door, finds her in the shower, like, about that of her face. Yeah, she's cut that off. So then she jumps in, stabs him in the shoulder with the, right, because she didn't actually have a knife, she just broke the mirror and grabbed one of the pieces and, yeah. You can see why I didn't want to see that. It gets worse. So she stabs him with the mirror piece. Then she, grabs the needle she had dropped earlier when the Deadeye possessed her. And, she starts stabbing Eric in the face with the needle. At that point, I looked away because I hate needles. So, goes to town on Eric. Basically they fight. He ends up killing her with a piece of the broken off toilet seat. And, they show her, her head's been caved in. Typical Evil Dead thing. Bit more realistic than the other films. So they do that. They go to Patch's wound, and, Mike or Marcus or M starts out with, giving him pads and telling him to hold it there. And that's another thing. Eric's wound actually looks really, really good. Again, practical effects for the win. So, M starts patching the guy's flesh wound with duct tape. The whole theater starts clapping and laughing when we see that. Duct tape. Anyway, then, M tells girlfriend, or, I'm just gonna call him Mark, I think that's what his name is. Mark tells girlfriend to go and get sugar and water. I guess it's an old battlefield medication technique, I'm not sure. She goes and gets it, the cellar's been blown open. She goes down to see Mia, of course, it's just the Deadeye pretending, and we finally get the payoff for the rotting stairs when girlfriend tries to escape and, stairs crack under her. She manages to get back up to the cabin floor before Mia drags her down and the opened cellar door slams on them both. Let's see. Mia has a creepy zombie lesbian thing, which is, yeah, it happens. What do you want? And, then girlfriend threatens her with the box cutter. That's where we get it. This is where the scene where we keep getting in the trailer where the girl, links the box cutter and cuts her tongue. Yeah, that's where we get that. Then Mia makes out with girlfriend. Girlfriend is rescued by Marcus, who then proceeds to chain and nail the cellar door shut. Have I mentioned I really like this guy? Girlfriend also got bit on the hand, so, while Marcus and Eric tried to burn the book, which that doesn't work. So, girlfriend tries to wash out her hand. Hand becomes possessed. We all saw it coming. Unfortunately, we do not get to see the hand killing girlfriend. I know, Evil Dead fans, you just got much sadder, but it's okay. It's okay. We still get to see her cut off her arm. It's with a carving knife and not a chainsaw, but there's just as much gore as in the original. There's just as much gore for this scene. They don't cut it out at all. And, Marcus and Eric hear the sound, go rush in, see her, and she's like, "It's okay. I feel much better now." Her arm falls off. It was only hanging by a ligament. So, once again, Marcus is patching up his girlfriend's wound with duct tape. And, this is no flesh wound this time. Like, she cut off her arm there. And she's patching that with duct tape. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be fine." Eric's like, "It's going to be fine." So yes, that's clearly I've laughed a lot. The humor is still here. It's not as strong as like Evil Dead 2 or even the original was, because the original eventually strayed into NARM at some point for everybody. But it's still here. It's still pretty good. Let's see. Trying to think of what else happened before. No, I think Girlfriend just turns into a Deadeye and attacks them with a nail gun. Oh, that's the other thing I mentioned. You suffer a lot of wounds in this film, and also the dog dies. Sorry about that. I know I'm horrible, but it's midnight. They suffer a lot of wounds in this film, and you think that they might cut away from them pulling out needles and nails, and you aren't that lucky. No, you're not. Remember when Eric got the needle in? Got into town? Yeah, the needle was still in, like... let me take off the glasses. The needle was still, like, right here. You just see him pull it out in detail. Ugh. Same thing happens with the nails. I mean, the Deadeye Girlfriend goes to town with a nail gun. So they get all pinned up with the nails in them. Marcus manages to get over to the shotgun and, well, first, Girlfriend beats him up a bit, but then Eric starts shooting her with the nail gun, which he dropped previously, and she goes to town on him with a crowbar. You get to see Eric's hand break. Like I said, they really don't shy away from the gore. And so, that's the other thing. I mean, I guess if you're really not into disturbing images, there's going to be a lot you're going to be looking away from in this film, because it's present. It's very present. But Marcus manages to get the shotgun, blows off one of her arms. She actually reverts briefly to herself before she dies. Apparently, Deadites die after 2 arms being blown. Losing 2 arms? I thought they were tougher than that, but whatever. Sure, I can deal with it. So at this point, Marcus is carrying Eric. They're working on getting out of there, and he's like, you have to burn the whole place, so they have some, character moments before he goes and spreads gasoline everywhere, and he's about to burn the house, and, previously they had mentioned that there are 3 ways to sever... Right, there's some backstory I forgot here. So, there was some exposition about the monsters. Apparently the prime monster is called Shatana, or Shatan, or... It's basically Satan, only has an H after the S. It's cheap, but whatever. And it says, after you feast on 5 souls, the abomination will rise from the earth. So, apparently whenever you read the summoning ritual in this movie, the main demon actually attaches itself to its soul grafts itself to the first person it finds. So there are 3 ways to get rid of him. You can either bury the person alive, violently dismember them, in classic Evil Dead fashion, or you can burn them alive. So originally he was going to go for the burn them alive thing. you see him go into the tool shed and prepare some stuff like a car battery and some needles, and you see the chainsaw, and you're wondering what's going on. You figure there's going to be the chainsaw's going to come to play at some point. It will, not in the way you think. So, he does that. He goes down into the cellar, into the room where they found Necronomicon, which is flooded since. Let's see. So he has a fight scene with Mia, and Marcus is getting his ass kicked because, right now Mia's possessed, so she has super strength and telekinesis and a box cutter. Never a good combination. But he is saved from being drowned by his possessed little sister by Eric, who comes in and smashes her with was there a crowbar? Or it was something. It was one instrument. What do you want? They all work the same anyway. But Eric dies in the process. He's finally had enough. He's been stabbed here. Had someone go to town with a nail on him here. He's been nailed all up, like literally his arm gets nailed to his chest at one point. Finally, this extended box cutter has finally killed him. The guy refused to die for quite a while. I was really impressed, actually. But, he dies. His Marcus, stupidly does not dismember him nor burn him alive, just leaves him in the, flooded room where they found the demonic magic. Because nothing could go wrong there, right? No. Anyway, he goes and marries his sister alive. Figure he's just going to leave. He doesn't. And, before he buries her alive, the demon does the whole, heal her face, talk to her like, normal self thing. So, he buries her alive, and then, there have been various odd effects of the demon's presence. Those all basically halt in an instant. And he digs her up, and you're like, oh, you dumbass. But, it's okay. He restarts her heart, and that actually has apparently, severed her bond with the demon. And, she's healed of all her, wounds. And, I feel like some people are going to complain about that, but it's okay, people, because the demon had her all healed up and spoke to him like it was her, because the demon did that trick, Mia's wounds are actually healed, and there is actually in-universe reason. So, then he takes her to the car. He goes in to get the car keys, and he's pulling down a photo from the wall when, to nobody's surprise, his dead friend comes and stabs him in the neck with a pair of tweezers. I don't know the physics of that, but we'll roll with it. Why not? We've already had several dismemberments and other nasty things happen. So, Eric is basically just trying to kill him at this point because I guess I'm not sure if he's just a minor deadite or he's now the host for the main boss, or it's not made really clear, but either way the result is the same. He's trying to kill them. Marcus just hands Mia the keys and tells her to run before he slams the door shut and locks it. And, he is bleeding from the neck from this point, so at this point he collapses, but, Eric, he kicks down the double-barreled shotgun so he can hold on to it. Eric makes some threatening comment that I didn't actually hear, so yeah, shame on me for that. But Marcus shoots the gas pail he was using to pour gas earlier, and that lights up the whole cabin. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure the fixes of that don't hold up, but whatever. I'm enjoying this movie. I'll let it slide. So, finally we figure, the movie's done, Mia's just going to leave. That's when the blood starts raining. Yeah, you just thought you were safe. You were wrong. It turns out that despite not actually having, unless the dog counts, I don't know, somehow the main demon has the 5 souls he needs to to raise the abomination from the earth. It was like, the abomination is not actually that threatening. She's kind of just, this anorexic zombie. I was a bit disappointed, but she works. She works fine. She's just there to get killed anyway. I mean, come on. It's Evil Dead. Like the Deadites are gonna win. So, they have a prolonged chase scene. Mia goes into a foxhole that they found earlier that leads to the tool shed. And, the abomination is breaking through the door. Initially, she grabs for the machete. Then she shoots the chainsaw. Pulls out the chainsaw, starts to rev it up. Chainsaw's empty. Ain't right. It's Evil Dead fan. That ain't right. But it's okay, because she finds gas. And pours it in. Badly, but enough for it to work, apparently. After a suitable startup time. But, first she goes into a back wall of the tool shed where the abomination starts stabbing the machete through. Manages to break through one wall while taking some wounds. Let's see. Then she runs back out to the car. I should note that the car and the tool shed are like 10 feet away from each other. It's very close quarters in a way, and it's pretty good goddamn tense finale. So Mia manages to get in the car. Abomination breaks through the window, and she's crawling. Oh, wait, she already did that. Sorry. That was earlier in the fight, but, she crawls through the car and goes to the tool shed, and now she's back out by the car. She runs around to the back of the car, and she hears the abomination coming for her. She crawls under the car and is trying to start the chainsaw. Eventually she does so. The abomination stops when it hears the chainsaw. Mia comes in and chops off and kneecaps it with the chainsaw. Yeah. So, then, the abomination is still at her level, which means that she may attack the flaw, but whatever. Mia's crawling out from under the car to, well, it's a Jeep, technically, because if it was like a sedan, this would never work, because you wouldn't be able to fit her in the car. But, she's crawling out from under the Jeep. The abomination has super strength, because, it's a demon. Sure, why not? Flips it over on her. Mia manages to get out of the way, mostly. Her hand gets trapped. So, see, Evil Dead fans, there is fan service in her. She loses her hand. She doesn't cut it off with the chainsaw. She actually does something that's arguably more badass. Her hand is trapped, and, you kind of get to see it, kind of separating when she tries to get it free. Remember, disturbing visuals, they're still here. Just because, you've gotten the awesome chainsaw doesn't mean they've gone away. But, so, by this point, the abomination is crawling towards Mia like that one zombie we all saw in the Walking Dead trailer. And, Mia said, I've had enough of this. She actually pulls her hand off. Ooh, and you get to see the wrist. I can't adequately describe it, but it's disgusting. But, her leg still works, so she gets up and starts, walking away. And, at this point, she's just, standing there holding the chainsaw while the thing crawls towards her. And, she's just like, I've had enough of this shit. So, chainsaws all have two handles. They have the top handle and they have the bottom handle. You need both to properly wield it. So, she takes her thumb in the hand and shoves it in, the loop that the top handle forms and grabs it. And, it's like, I've had enough of this shit. The abomination calls up to her and, goes, I'll feast on your soul. I love this scene. Mia takes the chainsaw and goes, feast on this, bitch. Shoves the chainsaw into the abomination's mouth, and then goes down with the chainsaw, bears down with the chainsaw, and then, first of all the gore that's necessary for Evil Dead kills going during this, so, so then when she's done, she pulls it up through the abomination, and has effectively cut the thing lengthwise. It's beautiful. It is. I mean, I think that, any Evil Dead fans will appreciate the brutality of a final monster death like that, and all the Evil Dead fans are going to love that kill. And this is one of the reasons why, you Evil Dead fans, I wanted you to go see this movie before watching my review. It really ruins it if you don't see it yourself. If you have someone tell you about it the first time. I really think it will. And it's basically the movie. You see Mia walking into the sun, but then, you get a shot of the Necronomicon, and it flips all its pages and it closes. Because, you can't really destroy the Necronomicon as far as I can tell. And then, credits roll. Credits also have some great Evil Dead fan service. The post-credit scene, I will not spoil, but at one point during the credits, you do actually hear the Doctor's original recording from the original Evil Dead. So that's a nice bit of fan service. This movie, it's really good. It's very entertaining. There are a lot of gross out things. Usually I'm not in favor of a lot of gore, because a lot of directors will use the gore just to use the gore. Here it actually kind of adds to the environment of what the fuck is going on. I mean, and some of the imagery in this is like, you'll be... I was asking at several points, what the fuck what were you thinking? And you will be too, because some of it is generally that creepy and horrifying. So, good job there. And, characters are strong. They have, well, that's not girlfriend. She didn't even get her name. Or, did she get a name? She's a girlfriend. I don't care. She's girlfriend. She is just there to die. And we all know it. But the fact that a lot of them are there to die, it's a kind of a thing with horror movies, but, what are you going to do? This is, I'm going to say that this is probably going to be one of the better horror movies this year. I'll say it. And Bruce Campbell has gone on record saying that they're not fucking with us with this, and, he's right, they're not. It is genuinely an entertaining film, and you won't regret spending the money on it, unless you're really grossed out really easily. In which case, you might regret going to see it, because... But, I think that, clearly the production crew on this film had a lot of respect for the original, plus it helps that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were both producers. But, go see this movie. You're not gonna regret it. You'll like it. Yeah, I don't even know who you are, but I'm willing to bet you'll like it. So, go ahead. Night, everybody.